how I felt or something, I guess.
Could you answer it?
I feel all right.
Ron, it's been 6 hours since you took that drink. Are you still feeling badly?
Yeah.
Do you know where you are?
Yeah.
Where are you?
Christ Hospital.
Has your mind been on anything in particular? Have you been thinking about anything in particular?
No.
Do you feel depressed?
No.
Do you feel elated?
No.
Have you been seeing anything by way of colors, or have you been hearing anything unusual?
No.
If I were to ask you how you felt, could you tell me?
I guess I am sad. I'm depressed. That's about all.
What sort of mental activity are you going through?
Confusion.
Well, Ron, you said that you thought the sun was in the wrong position when you looked out the window.
Yeah, I lost time perception.
Do you think that you're clearing at all, or are you still quite muddled?
I don't think in the last 15 minutes anything there's been any improvement now.
Are you anxious? Are you fearful? Are you worried?
I'm awfully nervous.
Mm-hmm. What would you classify your mood as?
My mood, apprehensive.
You know about what?
No.
What has your mental content been lately? Do you know what you've been thinking about?
Just trying to keep things with true situations, trying to be aware of it, trying to stay in contact with reality.
Have you felt a waxing and waning of reality?
Well, sometimes I've been confused about which is reality and which isn't. I mean, what little situations I was aware of noises, for instance, that may have been to annoy me and may not have been. And rather than investigate, I just sort of let them go.
Can you describe to us how this thing was some hours back when you were in the middle of it?
Just mass confusion is all. That's it, confusion.
Would you say it was pleasant or unpleasant?
I wasn't aware at the time of any pleasantness or unpleasantness, and I'm still not. I'm not aware of any pleasantness or unpleasantness. I'm emotionless about them. Yeah.
Well, Ronnie, do you think the picture showed the whole story of your LSD-25 experience?
Not by a long shot.
The day after the experiment, you wrote out something about it. Would you mind reading a part of it?
Not at all. I had very little by way of visual hallucinations, but what I consider the important thing that, well, what's the word to describe it? Dissociated, plagued, pounded, weighed. All three are inadequate to describe the horrible state I was in, all of them put together. Perhaps the central thing was suspicion and fear that you would find out about me, or perhaps think things that were not true. My overwhelming concern became, are they doing this to find out how I'll act? Are they deliberately rattling that damn paper to make me angry? On and on and on this went. And, as was no doubt obvious, I decided to do as little as possible, so I wouldn't make any mistakes. It was my confusion, the fact that I had to study the situation, to be careful that, shall I say, racked me up.
I believe that there was still a trace of this suspiciousness when we took you home that night. Would you mind telling us about the television experience?
It's hard to believe, but I joined the family to look at television in the living room, and I'll be damned if it wasn't talking in loaded phrases, too. That made my reason take another step toward control, and I felt better.
Well, thank you very much, Ronnie. This essentially paranoid type of reaction pattern has been described repeatedly by investigators of LSD-25 psychosis. During the next week, Ronnie was given a 5-milligram tablet of our new blocking agent twice daily, and one final tablet on the morning of the second experimental day. Our clinical experience with MER.17 convinced us that this compound was quite different from any other central nervous system stimulants that we had known before, and we were interested in the effect of some of its isomers. When the nitrogen atom is moved from the alpha to the gamma position, an entirely new compound results pharmacologically, and it is this gamma isomer of MER.17 which we have used as a blocking agent against LSD-25 psychosis. We were led to its use because of some dramatic, though inconsistent, results we had obtained when we used it on patients with schizophrenia. And now, let us return to Ronnie and the second experimental day. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
I believe you've been taking one 5-milligram tablet of this compound twice daily throughout the last week.
That's right.
And you took one this morning.
Yes, sir.
All right, now here we are with 1/10 of a milligram of LSD in distilled water. So down the hatch. Well, Ronnie, does it seem to be a half an hour since you took the LSD?
Yes, sir.
Have you got anything to report to us in this first half hour?
Nothing. This is something to report.
It's been an hour since you've taken LSD. What can you report to us?
Well, now I can definitely tell that I have taken it. But my thoughts seem to be in good shape so far.
Well, Ronnie, it's been an hour and a half since you took the LSD, and I've noticed an increasing restlessness in you.
Extreme restlessness, yes, sir. But my thoughts are in good control. I'm much more confident at this time than I was.
It's been 2 hours now since you've taken the LSD. Does it seem that that's right?
Yeah, that's true.
And there's been no distortion of time sense
No.
of the passage of time. Well, let's ask you first how your body feels.
It feels fine. There's no sensations one way or the other.
Well, now, you've been restless. You did a lot of pacing for a while, and then you lay down for a while.
Yeah.
Now, what can we find out about your mental processes? Have you had any feeling of drifting in and out of the world of reality at all?
Well, no, I haven't.
It's now 2.5 hours since you took the LSD. Does that seem right to you?
Yes, it's about right.
And there has been no alteration or distortion of your sense of time?
No, I don't think so.
Has much transpired in the last half hour, as far as you're concerned?
Well, nothing one way or the other, no.
Now, last week you had the very uncomfortable feeling that all of us were indulging in double talk. Is there any of that feeling in you now?
None whatsoever. I think that'd be a sort of a dissociative feeling that I don't have now.
Anything new to report to me at this time?
I don't think there's anything new. There's been no real change, I don't think, that I'm aware of.
At 3 hours last week, I asked you that if you had Aladdin's lamp and could get your most desired wish, you said that you would wish that something could be done to get rid of the nervousness that you had. Would you answer in the same way today?
I'm not sure. I think I'd be more aware of the possibilities of such an offer today than I was.
Ronnie, what time does it seem to be?
It's somewhere